Yesterday, I was up under the power lines getting ready to come back here. She ran off into the woods on my left. So I drove about halfway home, kept looking in the rearview mirror, waiting for her to come out of the woods and come with me. No. So I kind of chugged along, kept watching behind me. Where did she come out of the woods? Right here. Right this side of the white trash pile. She had come all the way through the swamp, through the woods. Well, I'm watching a YouTube channel. A gentleman, probably in his mid to late 40s, bought a property in the Italian Alps, and there are 2 barns on it. Very tiny barns. They're not, well, I say tiny, they're not like an American barn. One is maybe 20-25 feet long by 15 feet wide, and next to it is a smaller building, and he's renovating them. And he's doing a magnificent, beautiful job of craftsmanship. He says he's not a builder, he's not a carpenter, he's never done much of that, but he learns as he goes. And he's meticulous. He's just, I may put a link to it. It doesn't have a name, the channel. Anyway, he's got one foible that I love. He's using a tool, an axe, whatever. And when he gets his last stroke, he just flings it. Not fling it far, but just tosses it away. The other day I was watching, and he was using duct tape on something. Tore it off, threw it sort of behind him. Well, he lives on a mountainside. And I'm sure everybody watching, 90% of the people, the viewers like me, were watching that roll of tape. When it landed, it began to roll. Roll downhill. And he's turned back to his work, and for some reason, 5, 6, 8 seconds later, he looked over his shoulder for the tape, and it's heading down to the valley. He takes off running after it. He gets it. Oh, it's a fun, beautifully done, very quiet. I read an article about him. I found an article online from the Guardian newspaper. And they said it's about as interesting as watching paint dry, but it really hooks everybody that begins watching. It's such a slow, marvelous pace. And he rarely talks to you. Once in a while he'll describe something, but otherwise, and the camera angles, he sets the cameras up. A hell of a lot of work for him to do that we don't see. Most people don't recognize how much work it takes for him to go 100 yards up the side of the mountain, sort of at the edge of the woods, begin recording, and then walk down to his workplace and begin working. And how much he must film. I mean, he only uses maybe 5 seconds, and he's probably recorded 10 minutes. He has to go back up, turn the camera off, carry it back down. Oh, it's one of the most impressive things for me is seeing what he's done and how he's done it. Not the building, but the camera work. And I think I've also talked about, he has a lot of drone footage from way high sometimes. I mean, you're seeing he's probably a quarter-mile high from his house. And sometimes he's walking in the woods on a trail, and the drone is following him from up above. He goes over and sits on a rock promontory, and the drone is way back here. It would have taken him half a day to get from the drone to the promontory to film himself. So I had to look for a follow me drone. That's what they're called. And that's what they do, is there are 3 ways of doing it. And one that I think he must use is by GPS. He has a sensor with him. The camera has a sensor, and he somehow programs it to go certain height, go that many feet back or meters back, and film. And then then where does he land? It's fun to watch somebody who's doing things that I have no idea, and some things it's like magic. Part of me doesn't want to know the answer. I just want to enjoy the awe of it and the mystery of it. And the other part was, how did he do this? How did he do this? I got to know. And the drones, the follow me drones, they listed 5 or 6. One is a DJI, it's $750 roughly. And there are ones for $300 to $400 that do that. Oh, well, I can't afford it. I don't really need a drone like he does, but it's compelling. There's a good illustration of why I have a splitting stump that isn't level at the top. The pieces like this. I keep hearing her, and I think I've identified where she is. She's out behind the north side of the house. There's tin roofing back there, and I keep hearing the clanging of it. Should I help her? Got away, and it was a chipmunk. Woohoo! Oh, it's good to get this crap cleaned up for winter. I was determined to get this whole place cleaned out of this kind of junk, and then I got to rake it and get all chunks of wood like this that after an inch or two of snow are gone. But the snowblower has a way of finding them. She is still working over by the front stoop. Oh! Chipmunk just ran out of there. Inslee saw it run out around the corner of the house, and then she lost it. It ran behind the snake sign. Road less traveled. Good, that's a safe place for it. Oh, now she's on the trail. Oop. She knows it's back there. Oh, she did get it.